Today, we're just going to get right into it as your favorite talking head on the internet does his best to review a show that's so near and dear to his heart that he's sad to find out that this Thursday was its series finale. And it might be the best season of this universe that I have ever seen. And you will have to wait until the bitter end to find out if it is or not the best season of a television show I've watched this year, or the best season of this universe of all time. And it might just be. That's right, your favorite host is a Trekkie. For sure, Chris Humphrey is going to do his best to dissect Picard season 3, and what a treat it was. I hope you guys liked it and watched it down below as well, because I thought it was a phenomenal season. What CBS All Access, which is now Paramount Plus, has done is they found a way to take the nostalgia, dial it up to 20, uh, past 100, and link it to previous seasons and add new stuff to the lore. Now, a lot of those diehard Trek fans or trolls out there are probably not going to like it as much as I did, but this season had me had it pulling on my heartstrings so much that I watched most of the season twice because I thought it was that good, especially this series finale. Now I'm sad because a lot of these characters I grew up with 30 years are probably not going to come back. It makes sense if you watch, and it's nice to see that they're adding to lore. But I was happy to see Deep Space Nine in there and Voyager. I was happy to see other Star Treks get a part of this massive world. It is by far the best season of Picard, and I'm just going to lay it out there. I have to go back and watch Star Trek Prodigy again, and Strange New Worlds, and season 4 of Next Generation, and season 5 and 6 of Deep Space Nine, and Voyager the same. It might be the best season. Like, I'm talking like full season. It was so compact and so well done. Putting it all together. I'll tell you the bad first, and the bad is very simple. What people aren't going to like is it's very nostalgic, and it relies on nostalgia in fans as old as me to go back and who loved the Next Generation cast uh, to market this and to watch this. It is definitely fan service at its best, but that's what Paramount has been doing since, well, where do we start? Top Gun Maverick was what, the highest grossing film last year, because it was smart. Bring out the nostalgia so old people come and watch it. Yes, I'm calling myself old. Watch it and go, wow, this is great. Take their kids because it's really good. That's what this Star Trek was, but it added a lot to the lore of the changelings and the Borgs, and it sets up future Star Trek in a way that I don't know if people will see the way that I do. Yes, it takes that old and brings them in and breathes new life into them, but it adds to it, and it's probably going to add. We're probably going to see it in Section 31, and we're probably going to see it added in, I believe. Uh, Jonathan Frakes wants to do a Starfleet show that he's trying to write and produce and get off the ground, where it's going to be more like the West Wing there. And that's a great idea, and this is probably going to add to it. What a season it was! A couple newcomers to add to it, and I don't want to spoil much for people that haven't seen it because it's a treat to watch, and there is a lot of good ship porn, as I like to call it. That's right, ship porn, that they show off the ships and they bring back a nostalgia piece in there. And what a fantastic ride. I really felt the joys of it. And the nostalgia was just enough for me to keep watching. It was so much so a ride that even my lovely wife, who hates Star Trek with a passion, she hates it. She doesn't understand why I watch it. Sat there and watched this and went, wow, this is surprisingly really good, because it brought out the the reason why Star Trek was so popular and Star Trek Next Generations and Strange New Worlds is it brought back the diplomatic part and the talking and the dialogue was sharp. And she's like, "Yeah, it's really good." She's like, "I can get past all the different faces." Yeah, what she meant by different aliens and different creatures. She doesn't care for sci-fi like Star Wars and Star Trek and Lord of the Rings because I guess she prefers human faces, right? I guess it's the law of attractionness. She likes what she likes to look at. But she even sat down and watched a little bit. And then there's me sad. And she's like, "You're getting sad over that?" I'm like, "Babe, this is 30 years. This is my childhood." And I came to Star Trek late because when I was growing up, yes, I'm reminiscing a little bit. When I was growing up, my dad hated the original series. He really did. He didn't see it there. I think it's because he just thought William Shatner was a prick. Can I say that on TV? Well, I just did. It can bleep me out after. Uh, but he watched Star Trek Next Generation. He was a fan of good old Professor X because he used to be on a lot of British television and a lot of theater stuff on CBC here in Canada. And my dad watched it and he liked it, but he could never go back and watch the original. So every time I would go over to visit him on the weekends and that, Star Trek was on and he would sit there and watch it. The Next Generation, he loved it. He loved every time seeing LeVar Burton and all the cast uh, do their job, and Jonathan Franks always is great as Riker. My dad always liked how he would climb over chairs. My dad loved it. As a kid, I hated it because that's how we spent days when we would visit our dad, and it was always Star Trek. I hated it. As I got older and I started watching it myself, I started with the original series and then watched it. Next Generation probably became my favorite, if not Deep Space Nine. Uh, there, I mean, my dad would compare. He hated Deep Space Nine because they never went anywhere. My dad preferred Trek because he preferred trekking to planet. But seeing these characters all grown up, seeing Beverly Crusher back and all of them coming flooding back, and the twists and turns that they use with the new characters and the new people are great. Trek is in good hands. Star Trek is in great hands for the future. I think all the new stuff that's going to come out is great. I wish people weren't so hard on uh, Discovery. I don't know why people hated it. I guess the fans of the old ones don't like change and don't like the new stuff, but I don't know. I guess this is where I disagree with the fans a little bit. That nostalgia plays an important role, but you gotta add to the future, or there will be no future. I like all the new Trek that comes out. Personally, I thought Star Trek Prodigy was the best first season of any show, and everybody would argue with me, say Strange New Worlds. I'm like, yeah, but I think it was episode 6 or 7, and that where it kind of goes down a little bit. This season, now I personally think, and it's probably because I'm seeing it through nostalgia colored glasses, I think is the best season of Trek. It does a lot uh, to build to the future and get rid of the past, and that's what you want. The set pieces were beautiful, mostly on ships. It was well done. The lighting was fantastic. Um, and seeing all of these people have fun, you can see whenever they're in a group together, all the original cast, you can see that they're trying not to smile or laugh. Unfortunately, I think William Riker forgets that he's on a TV show and laughs and smiles a little bit, and he tries to hide it. But it's Jonathan Frakes. I wish he would come back with a beyond belief fact or fiction. But I really like this season. As you can tell, I'm a huge fan of this season. Sad to see it all go, but this was way better than season 1 and season 2 of Picard because it was concise. It was well put together, showing the fear and the the cast. They did a great job. The newcomer, his name is who plays Beverly Crusher's son. The newcomer does a great job adding to the lore. He was great in You, the last season of a television called You on Netflix. When I saw him here, great. That's why my wife uh, actually sat and watched it. She saw the good-looking guy from You, and she was like, "Oh, he's in Star Trek." I'm like, "Yes, yes, he is." I didn't want to spoil much to her, but I'm trying not to spoil much because I don't want anybody to hate me, but I want you guys to watch it and let me know what you think of it down below. Is it one of the best seasons of Trek? I personally think it is, right? I'd probably go Picard season 3, then I'd probably go Prodigy, and then I would probably go Strange New Worlds, and then I would go Next Generation, probably season 4 if we're going to rank in order. But that's if we're going to rank in order, and I'm not going to. But now I have the beauty of telling you that I gave it a 9. That's right. My nostalgic rose colored glasses, it was playing at my heartstrings so much that I gave it a 9. And you can see where I put it on the list of shows what's that I've ranked so far this year. What's great about this review is that now I get to knock out, you can see the 5 that I've had up there, top 5 seasons of television so far this year. I get to knock out one of them, and now we get to say goodbye to it as Shrek comes. Star Trek, not Shrek. Star Trek Picard comes aboard to take the top spot and knock out the bottom spot. We say goodbye to that as I give Star Trek Picard a 9. What a season! What a way to go. The only reason I didn't give it a 10 is because I felt it played too much on the nostalgia, but it was just enough to keep me intrigued and add uh, to the massive amount of lore that's going to play into future Star Treks. And you just know it is with the right people at helms. A big shout out to Mr. Burton's lovely daughter who comes in as the driver, as I like to call it, of the plane. She's probably going to take it over for her dad, which is great. She does a tremendous job. When I first watched it, and I was like, and I heard the name, and they're calling her uh, LaForge's daughter. I'm like, wow, they did a good job picking the cast. I thought. I'm like, wow, she kind of looks like the dad. Wow. And then I looked, I'm like, because Prime tells you the names, and I'm like, oh, that is his daughter. That makes sense. I was like, here I was praising the cast. That's a great job. Good start for her. She did a good job playing the character. LaForge was always my favorite character in Star Trek because he was the most human, and I mean that in there. And I'm not biased because I was a Reading Rainbow kid, but his character, you got to think about it, right? He's an engineer. He's always looking for love. He's smart, highly intelligent, right? His best friend is a robot, and his he falls in love with the hologram, right? That's like the most human, introverted engineer, like type person, IT type person that you can think of. He was the most human, right? And throughout the years, he always got to be the most human. And yes, I was a Reading Rainbow fan. I can admit that, and because I had to learn how to read somehow. And he was one of the big reasons. But it was a great season. I hope you guys liked it. I'm going on. I think this is going to be my longest video talking about just how much I love Star Trek and the actors in it. But I want you guys to let me know what you think of it. I appreciate taking so much of your time. You're going to love this season. Get out there and watch it. If I don't see you guys again, I'd like to say good morning, good evening, and good night, or good afternoon, good night. Ciao, guys. Thanks for watching. Producer, hit the music of Star Trek, baby. Can I?